Thanks for joining us for this special WSI session on e-commerce. My name is Cheryl Baldwin, and I'm the Director of Marketing Communications at WSI Corporate. And today, we're going to have a conversation about the top considerations for achieving e-commerce success. Now, specifically, we are going to be covering some of the key questions you should be asking yourself to help improve the performance of your e-commerce website strategy. And I'm going to be joined by a couple of our experts from the network to have this conversation. Now, before we get into the session, just some quick info on WSI. WSI has been around for the last 25 years, and in that time, we have helped over 100,000 businesses worldwide and across many industries with their digital marketing strategies. Whether you're a new business just starting out or one that's well established, we know that digital marketing can be a bit complex. Our goal at WSI is to help you navigate that complexity. And one of the ways we do that is through educational sessions like these that are designed to share some of the latest digital marketing best practices with you. This time, we're going to be talking specifically about e-commerce. Now, before I bring on our experts to kind of take you through some of the considerations you need to be thinking about when it comes to your e-commerce website strategy, I just wanted to share some specific stats on the growth of e-commerce over the last little bit. I don't think any other area in digital marketing saw as much accelerated growth than e-commerce saw over the last year. Overnight, businesses had to digitally transform and either adopt or improve their online shopping experience. So let's take a look. These stats really indicate the full demand for e-commerce. Numbers indicate that 10 years of e-commerce growth happened in just 3 months at the height of the pandemic. And while e-commerce has been growing steadily year over year, this growth just accelerated exponentially due to consumers having to move their purchasing behavior more online than they had ever done before. And when we take a look at how many people across the world are actually online shopping, the stats show that over 2.14 billion people worldwide are expected to buy goods and services online this year. That actually equates to close to 30% of the world's population, which is huge. This number is just going to continue to grow as well, especially as older generations get more comfortable with online shopping and younger generations start shopping online even sooner than they are right now. And from that 2.14 billion people, consumers worldwide will spend up to $4.8 trillion online in 2023, or by 2023. This growth is being fueled by shoppers making even more and larger purchases online than they did before. People are adding more products to their cart than they did even the year before last. And they're turning to online shopping to get the things they need quickly and easily without leaving the comfort of their home. And not only are more people shopping online, but 87% of shoppers begin their product hunt on a digital channel somewhere. This means that more and more of your customers are researching your products online first. They're exploring your website for your fulfillment options. They're reviewing the reviews that people have left for your products and services. They're checking you out on your social properties. They're watching product demos to really understand what it is that your product and service delivers. They do all of this before making a purchase. They're just becoming more informed. So even if someone may not actually make the purchase through your online website, they are definitely checking you out online before they decide where they want to purchase a product or service. So beyond just having a good shopping cart experience, you need to also make sure that at your end, you're delivering quality content on your products and services online as well, which is really your entire digital marketing strategy and what it entails. I'm bringing on a couple of experts on e-commerce today to take you through the things you need to be thinking about when it comes to having a successful e-commerce website strategy. Our panelists today, I love to welcome and have them join us, are Sharon Hernstein and Heidi Schwendy. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, Cheryl. Great to be here.
Both of
Hi,
these
Cheryl.
ladies have been within our network, our WSI Global Network, for years. They have a lot of experience working and helping businesses succeed online. Now, that can be through a number of different digital marketing tactics, but have been also helping and have a lot of experience in helping people with their e-commerce strategies specifically, and understanding what they need to do, the technologies they need to consider, some of the enhanced and advanced strategies they need to be considering to always move their e-commerce game up the scale. So the conversation that they're going to have with you today is just that, very conversational. I'm going to bring them on to take you through some of these key questions you need to be thinking about so that you can leave this session with some takeaways that you can implement in your business. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to you guys to have a conversation on e-commerce and what people need to be considering today around their strategies on this.
I know for myself and Heidi, we've been wanting to have this conversation for so long, so we really appreciate the opportunity. Heidi and we've worked together for quite some time, and we get asked a lot of questions about e-commerce, and that's what we really wanted to share. So if we've learned anything from 2020, the customer experience is so important, Heidi. So if you could walk us through maybe some of those things that you think are really important having a great customer experience, that would be fantastic.
Sure, I'm really, really happy to be doing this today because it's so important. Clients everywhere, even, B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. E-commerce is everywhere, and there is a way to e-commerce just about everything. So I think one of the most important things with e-commerce and e-commerce experience, or any web experience for that matter, is to make it simple and easy. Now, in making it simple and easy, that means a lot of hard work on our end. And when I say on our end, I mean as the business or the purveyor or the supplier of services online. So any business that's doing any kind of e-commerce, it's a lot of hard work. Is it worth it? Oh, yes. I mean, you saw some of the stats from Cheryl, right? So I think using customer data to our advantage collectively is probably the best way to tailor an online store. Over time, using your data wisely is really going to enhance growth and relationship with your customer base. So one of the examples I could give you would be to take your customer history. A lot of us have email marketing going, or marketing automation, or web analytics, Google Analytics. And when you're starting your e-commerce store, or even when you're thinking of enhancing your e-commerce store, think about purchase history. Segment your customers out. Provide them with incentives to, for example, actually create an account with you rather than always signing out as a guest. Once you've tagged your customers properly in your data, you can show them personalized messages in a very timely fashion, if that makes sense. And you can give them personalized recommendations. Now, the caveat to all of this is don't just provide recommendations for the sake of recommendations. You don't do this unless you plan on doing it well. Because if you don't do it well, if you show a customer a product that, you're saying, we think you might be interested in this, and they go, you don't know me at all. What are you talking about? I don't want this. So you have to be really, really careful when you do this. But if you do it well, you're going to soar.
Excellent. Okay. So what about e-commerce automation? Maybe you can explain that for us, and why is it, it can be tricky sometimes. So maybe if you could go into some detail about that.
Yeah. E-commerce automation is an automation all its own. And what it does is it lets you automate your online store, much like you would do with, your supply chain, your inventory management systems, marketing automation systems. Teams can automate your processes by building very simple workflows. And the same applies to e-commerce. They can be built. Now, there are two ways you can do this. You can build your workflows using third-party applications, but you'll find yourself likely stitching together solutions and searching for complex workarounds, and that'll waste a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, and putting your online store on autopilot really demands an e-commerce automation solution that includes all of these things in your e-commerce platform. So when selecting your platform, be it a migration from an existing site to a new one, be it creating a new online presence, new online store, you need to find the right solution for you and what it is that you want to do with your e-commerce platform. And this is where I think it's so important for you to get your agency involved, whoever that agency is, to help you with the selection, to ensure that you're going to have exactly the right solution for your own business needs. Because unlike marketing automation, your e-commerce store is an always on, always running thing. It's open for business 24/7. So think of your retail store. Just imagine if you were open 24/7. That's what your online store is, and that's why it's so important to do it well and to select your solution so that you avoid troubles down the road, because we know already that businesses will scale very, very nicely if they do this well.
Now, what about shipping? I know this is a question we get asked a lot because, days gone by, it would be sort of this, it might take a week or 2 weeks to get your product or service. What's the norm now as far as urgency to ship goes?
Oh, this I would put top of the list. The standard has quickly become 2-day shipping. At times, even next day shipping is even preferable. And guess who we have to thank for that? Amazon. Amazon, everybody has been talking for years about the Amazon effect. The Amazon effect has really affected shipping. So think of it this way. If you're buying something from Amazon and you're going to get it next day or within 2 days, if you're an Amazon Prime member, and a customer can buy it through Amazon, or they can buy it through you, but you're not offering the same kind of user experience end to end from online purchase through to delivery, you could lose out to Amazon. A lot of companies say, okay, well, we'll counter that by operating on Amazon. That's all fine and good. But when you're doing it that way, you're paying a lot to be on Amazon. And you're paying a lot for that buy now button. And Amazon makes the money and you do all the heavy lifting. So being on Amazon is like when you're at scale already on your own business. So the shipping experience clearly directly impacts the user experience, and the customer experience doesn't end until they receive their merchandise at their front door. And ideally, that will be like promptly and on time, and excellent order fulfillment goes a really, really long way. So when it's done well, it creates great customer experience. It'll inspire loyalty. It mitigates your cart abandonment, and it'll also help with great online reviews, which will in turn help that all-important trust factor. So as you can see, customer experience end to end is very important, and shipping is a key component of that.
Now, what about tracking your stock limit? I know that's a question that, a lot of business owners have. How important is that?
It's very important. And, retailers or any online business, really, you have to think about the inventory levels that you keep. having a warehouse and keeping inventory is kind of a difficult thing. So you need to decide kind of upfront what a customer will see when an item is out of stock on your site. How are you going to notify them that it is replenished and now available? Will you offer back orders on your site? Or will you ask a customer to say, let me know when this is back in stock so that they can come and make their purchase then? Do you offer wait lists? If so, do you want to ship the item once it's received? These are all things that a retailer needs to think of on behalf of their client, and what they would personally want as an experience. So these are questions that need to be weighed out really carefully, because upset customers, as we know, Sharon, they remember and they
Oh
say
boy.
so in their reviews, and we want stellar reviews, because
Right.
bad reviews online are all part of completely other area of digital marketing, which is reputation management. And we need good customer reviews. We don't want 1-star reviews.
Okay, perfect. Now, what about integrating your e-commerce into other systems that you might already have in your business? Maybe we could talk a bit about that.
Oh, yeah. This is one that comes up a lot as well. So I can't stress enough the importance of properly integrated systems. To do your e-commerce really successfully and at scale, you got to plan your integrations, and they have to be done correctly. If you fail to do it, you could damage your e-commerce business. So it's better to wait and do it right than try and rush it and not have it work for you. So does your e-commerce site data need to sync with other internal systems like inventory management? And as noted in the previous question, your accounting or email, or are you looking at QuickBooks, Salesforce, another email marketing platform? There are hundreds, if not thousands, of potential integrations. So plan your technology stack really carefully and deliberately as you go. And again, an intelligent marketing agency can walk you through all your options, like before your website goes into development, and help you select the best solutions for your particular business, be it ERP, be it inventory management, be it your marketing automation, how you get your data insights. Those are all things that a good MarTech agency will be able to help you with.
So speaking of data insights, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's really something that we need to consider. What types of data need to be brought in sometimes to your e-commerce site?
Yeah. So I think the thing that I would say about data is that it's your business gold. Anyone handling your business data should be highly experienced as a data engineer. A data import or migration has the potential to be significant, and it is an exacting job. Think of it as the accounting of technology. So it involves like migrating all your data, your customer information, order data, product data, images, any number of other data points and variants into what you provide. Just think of one t-shirt that comes in multiple sizes, in multiple colors. The variants can be endless. And
Right.
you have to have access to this in your e-commerce site. So I recommend, first of all, a complete data backup before migrating anything. And also, e-commerce sites tend to have a really large footprint, really larger than you can imagine, even just because of all the variants that I spoke about a few seconds ago. So again, enlist your web development agency's help to complete your data migration, ensure a smooth transition. for your business and for your customers.
Perfect. Okay. So one of the other questions that I know we get asked all the time is about platforms. If there's free platforms out there, there's very, very expensive platforms out there. How is a consumer to choose, has a business to make that determination of what's right for them? Maybe you could walk us through some of that.
Right. E-commerce platforms come with varying options. Understanding the key differences from platform to platform is essential for your online business strategy. I'm going to segue for a second. Platform providers will hire salespeople. Salespeople try to sell their platform licenses. And in selling their platform licenses, you can very easily be led down a path that you don't necessarily want to go. So really what you should do is partner with your marketing technology specialist, whether that be an agency or be it in-house, and they will tell you which one will be best for you to scale. So it's essential to your online business strategy. I like the choice of platform to use is critical. So whatever works for you now may not be ideal in the future. And because creating or migrating a site can be challenging at best. So it's important to find a hosting solution that strikes a balance between your budget, your website development needs, your support requirements, and most importantly, your growth potential. Because whatever solution you provide must be able to scale with your business. And that is my opinion on that particular issue. Yeah.
Yeah. So now what about, we've just had this proliferation of sites, it's one thing that happened during 2020 is that anybody who, wanted to be online essentially moved online. So what are some of those trends that we're seeing, that 2020 can teach us that we might be able to take advantage of?
Well, I think the trends that we saw in 2020, they were going to happen anyway, eventually. The pandemic accelerated everything in a really unprecedented way. So I think Cheryl may have mentioned it in her intro, but according to McKinsey, now McKinsey I trust very much when it comes to data, and they asserted that the industry vaulted 5 years forward just in the first 8 weeks alone of the pandemic.
Wow.
So e-commerce skyrocketed in 2020 with an 18% growth rate in the United States alone, and it gained another 14.5% share in the retail space, shifting to online. So I don't think that online shopping trends are going to change all that much, even once we open up again. They may morph a little bit, but now that shoppers have discovered the convenience of online shopping, and they know that they shop online, they get their stuff on time, it's easy, they don't have to think about it, they're able to track it, and it arrives at their door. I don't think they're going to want to give all of that up necessarily. Again, it may morph between shop online, pick up in store, or certain items may continue. There's probably going to be a lot of research done around what the pandemic did to e-commerce after reopening, but I truly in my heart don't think that the growth will decelerate. I think a lot of it is going to stick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know for a lot of business owners, they want to figure out, how can I win more market share? Maybe if we could talk a little bit about that, because that's so important, especially for smaller businesses.
Yeah. So That was the macro view that I just gave you, 18% growth, 14.5% of retail shifted to online. The next question you have to ask yourself is, all right, consumers are shopping online. We know they're shopping online in droves. Are they shopping with you? So brands now have an opportunity on a more micro level to go and take some of that market share by helping customers seamlessly, move through, that consideration to purchase. But they have to give consumers and buyers an incentive to do so. So focus on pulling them in with offers that are relevant to their habits. When we talked about tagging your customers earlier on in this conversation, this is where this will come in and be very valuable. It's not a question of, giving them anything. It's a question of giving them things based on their habits and, focus on your great integrated marketing. Because e-commerce isn't a question of, if you build it, they will come. No, they won't. It just won't happen. So shoppers need a reason to come. And we need to meet them at their moment of need. And it's our job to try and figure that out based on our data and what we see in our systems.
So if you've got your e-commerce website out, I mean, is that it? Like you just put it up and, what's the next step? Like what happens after that? Can we just sit back, or are there key things to consider?
Yeah, great question. Because again, like I said, it's not a question of if you build it, they will come. Once you've done all this heavy lifting work to build your e-commerce site, you're really only halfway there. For you to effectively grow an e-commerce business, whether or not you have a retail presence, you can have a brick and mortar store, but if you want to do e-commerce, you need a well thought out e-commerce marketing plan. And this is where I find customers can often fall down. They invest so much in their technology. For example, they have their e-commerce store and they want everything integrated right away. And they want to do, other platform integration and so on and so forth. You do that when you want to scale. First, do the basics right. And don't invest in too much technology until you know which next technology is going to be right for you. I mean, unless you're a big business already. But if you're just starting out, whenever possible, hire experts to help guide you through that. Most people will spend a lot of money on setting up their business, and then there's nothing left over to help get that business known or to market it. And I feel so badly when I see that happen, especially for small business owners, or especially for, business owners who are shifting from pure retail to e-commerce. It's heartbreaking, really. So hire a talented digital marketing agency that can bring your business to the next level. The importance of that can't be understated. There are prerequisites, of course, to creating an effective marketing plan. I mean, I don't need to tell you that, Sharon. You do that all day, every day. We need to think about the goals of the businesses and objectives, calculate how much marketing spend will be necessary in each of the channels. What's the cost per conversion? What's the return on ad spend? ROAS is so important. Like if you're spending more to bring people in than really the input of your sales is bringing you, you're not doing well. So what is your needed ROI? Like, do you need your ROAS, for example, to be 2x, 3x, 4x of your spend to be able to make a profit? You need someone who knows how to calculate that stuff with you to help you determine how much you spend on advertising, how much you spend on social media, how much you spend on e-commerce management, on, site maintenance. All these things have to come into account. So it needs to be planned out. But if it's set up right and things are done in the right order and, things are well marketed, chances are you'll succeed.
Well, thank you so much, Heidi. Honestly, the insights that you shared with us are just invaluable today. So thank you so much for taking the time and sitting down with me today. Appreciate it. Cheryl, I'll turn it back over to you.
So very welcome. Thank you very much, guys, for having me.
Thank you so much, ladies. It's just so much great information there. And I think, like you kind of ended with, Heidi, I mean, e-commerce is a component of your online strategy, but so much goes into it.
Right.
And so, getting, the advice that you need to help you through that is key. Now, we do actually have a ebook on e-commerce. Actually, Heidi helped put us this ebook together because we talked a lot about what is like some of these key considerations, but there's a lot of additional things that we cover in the ebook as well. So some of what you talked about, but some more things. So if you guys want to learn more about, all the different types of things you need to be looking at, these key questions, I highly recommend you reach out to your WSI consultant to get your copy of our ebook. It's called E-commerce Planning Guide, 18 Key Questions to Address for E-commerce Success. And it'll give you some really good answers to the common questions we always talk to our businesses with that we're working with. Now, beyond that, as we know, like we just said, e-commerce is a component of your digital marketing strategy. And so if you ever need help with any of that, that's where a WSI consultant can help you with. So reach out to the WSI consultant you're currently connected with. They may have referenced you to one of our webinars in the past, or maybe you're talking to someone right now or on their mailing list. Just reach out to them, they can help you. And if you don't have a WSI consultant that you're currently connected with, reach out to contact@wsiworld.com and we'd be happy to put you in contact with one that's more in your local area. So I'd like just to say, one final thank you to you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules to share some great information with everyone today. We like to have these educational sessions to just keep businesses up to breath on the latest things that they need to know around digital. So, as you see us coming out with other sessions like these or webinars, be sure to watch your inbox and your social media to get those invites into these sessions as we work to educate you on the latest digital marketing tactics and strategies. So, Heidi, Sharon, thanks again for bestowing your wisdom today with all of us and for taking time out of your schedule to do that.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated.
Always a pleasure. Anytime.
Great to be here. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.